Let's bring in retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral and Republican Congressman from the great state of Texas, Ronny Jackson, sits on the House Armed Services and Foreign Affairs Committee, joins us right now. I hope he's down in Texas somewhere. Good morning to you, Admiral.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
We're doing okay, but we're scratching our heads. So now we're up to like 75 times. These Houthi rebels, who once upon a time during the Trump administration used to be terrorists, they hit us, and what do? We just blow them up rather than addressing the root cause. Explain what the root cause is, Ronny.
Well, the root cause is Iran, and the root cause is our inability to respond to this kind of stuff. It's weakness coming from the White House that's been going on since the very early days of the Biden administration. And as you mentioned, Steve, the Houthis were removed from the designated terrorist list. President Trump had put them on the terror list, and as soon as Biden got in, he removed them from that list, and we started giving them money and aid. And now, we're dealing with this, and until we get aggressive with this, until we strike in a really meaningful way, this is not going to stop. I mean, us going after a few terrorists here and there in Iraq and Syria after these drone attacks, that's not going to do it. We need to go after the source. And with regards to the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden and the Strait there, which is becoming an increasingly dangerous place to operate for commercial shipping, and obviously for our troops that are there on ships as well, we need to go after the Houthis. We need to strike where these missiles are coming from. They're shooting missiles at ships, missiles and attack drones. This is crazy. We should be neutralizing that stuff immediately. We should be sending Tomahawk missiles over there and taking these sites out. Instead, we're doing nothing. And it's being perceived as complete weakness on our part, and it's only going to get worse until we get strong and do something about what's happening.
Yeah, Admiral, they're giving out TBIs like they're cookies. You've had the honor of serving 3 presidents, both parties, Democrat and Republican. Leon Panetta was very critical in his statement over the weekend at the Ronald Reagan Library. I guess my question to you is, what is different when it comes to this administration and the way it responds to acts of aggression versus the 3 presidents that you served?
Well, I think the 3 presidents I served would have been very decisive in what they did and what the response was. I mean, they would have sent an undeniable message that if you, just like Leon Panetta had said this weekend, if you do this, you will die, right? And that's what we need to do. We need to kill some of these people and take out some of these sites, the people that are launching this stuff, not just responding in the local area, not killing these proxy terrorists. Iran doesn't care about these proxy terrorists. If 4 or 5 of them die in a U.S. airstrike, they don't care. That's not going to deter them at all. We need to strike. We need to cut the head off the snake, essentially. And that's what I've seen done in the past. I've seen decisive action taken and a message sent that if you continue to do this, the response will be overwhelming. It will be more than what they're doing. So if they do something to us, we should do something that's above and beyond what's been done to us, and send that message to them that there will be a price to pay. It will be painful, and you will not be able to continue to operate in the way you've been operating. And the Biden administration refuses to do that. And they're being driven by the progressive base right now that's that drags them in the wrong direction every time something like this happens. And they need to stop listening to them. They need to start doing what's in America's best interest and what's in our national security interest. And they need to put a stop to this, because it's going to escalate into something really bad in the near future here. I mean, they're shooting missiles at ships. I don't know, something bad is going to happen in the near future.
You're not only a congressman, you're a retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral, and you also are a physician. So we wanted to talk to you about this next topic because there are 5 GOP senators. It's Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Rick Scott, Tommy Tuberville, and Mike Braun, who have penned a letter to Joe Biden asking him to ban travel from China to prevent this mystery respiratory illness from coming here to the United States. Part of that letter says the Chinese Communist Party has a long history of lying about public health crises. A ban on travel now could save our country from death, lockdowns, mandates, and further outbreaks later. In your opinion, how serious is this illness? What exactly is this illness? And will Joe Biden listen to them?
Well, we don't know what this illness is. That's a big part of the problem. We don't know if it's a viral illness. We don't know if it's an atypical bacteria like mycoplasma or something like that. We don't We don't know if it's a new novel virus, something that's natural, something that's maybe been manipulated in a lab like COVID was. What we do know is that we can't trust the Chinese. We cannot trust any information we get from the Chinese or from the World Health Organization. And sadly, we can't trust a lot of the information that we're getting from our own CDC and our own government. That's what COVID taught us. It's very unfortunate, but COVID has taught us to be very mistrustful of all of this information. And I think until we know what's going on, it's not a bad idea to do exactly what the senators were suggesting, to shut the travel from China down right now until we figure out what's going on over there, because we don't know if this is going to be the next big pandemic or not. It doesn't look like it's going to be, but you know what? COVID didn't look that way to start with either, and we were lied to about that. So we need to know what's happening, and we need to be aggressive in our prevention in the interim.
Well, we don't know what we don't know. Ronny, doctor, admiral, congressman. He's got the longest business card of any guest today. Sir, thank you very much for joining us.
He served our country.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
and his
it.
patience. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.